Hello, my friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family. Well, guys, we have a new scientific breakthrough that's going to rewrite astronomy textbooks. And we've seen a lot of that. We really have seen a lot where things that we were taught are found to be completely inaccurate. And so this is interesting because here they had thought that black holes resemble donuts. And now they find that it's more that they resemble 3D fountains, gigantic 3D fountains. And so previous theoretical models set prior assumptions of rigid donuts rather than starting from assumptions. Our simulation started from physical equations and showed for the first time that the gas circulation naturally forms a donut. So says this theoretical physics professor at Kagoshima University. He also noted this discovery will essentially rewrite astronomy textbooks by investigating the motion and distribution of both of the molecular gas and warm atomic gas with ALMA, which is a observatory, which I have a link for so you guys could check it out for yourselves. We demonstrated that the origin of the so-called donut structure around an active black hole. Based on this discovery, we need to rewrite astronomy textbooks. And so we keep finding these things out, that these previous assumptions, weren't necessarily right. And this is ALMA Observatory, which is down in Chile. And so you guys, I'll give you the link so you could check that out. And this is Tech Times talking about the same thing again. So the rings of gas around black holes are not rigid-like structures. As we see a little computer simulation, and you see this swirling motion. And so this automatically gets me thinking of the statement, as above, so below. And this is what we find all throughout nature. So what we really are talking about is basically the fractal essence of nature itself. And this is a PDF on the nature of the universe and why the universe is fractal. And so this is by Chris King from the Mathematics Department at the University of Auckland. And so it's just interesting stuff for you guys that maybe didn't ever hear of this before. But this is all that as above, so below, that we have gotten from the the mystery school teachings. And we're talking Kabbalah, we're talking Hermeticism, we're talking so many different mystery school teachings. And basically a lot of the teachings really that are congruous with Eastern philosophy as well. And we see that. We see this in nature, the fractal essence of nature itself. And it gets me thinking of right away about chakras, because what we see with the black holes is that they are taking in energy and then basically spewing them out like a fountain. And so here we have the same sort of structure going on with chakras. And there are many, many chakras in the body. And they are whirling vortices of energy. They are pulling in subatomic particles into not only the physical body, but the various layers of the energy body. Because you have multi-layers to your body. There's many different layers. The etheric, the emotional, the mental. There's all different types of spiritual bodies too that go out through different dimensions. And so this is knowledge that's been handed down in Eastern circles from teacher to student for millennium, and also in the Western circles as well, and in the Western mystery traditions, but hidden. So there has been a persecution of this knowledge in order to keep it out of the public's hands. But in these times with the internet and the ability to share info, we are able to enlighten each other as to the fractal nature of the universe. And this is an example of some fractal architecture. So first off, we should really get to, let me jump over here. What is a fractal? Well, a fractal is a never-ending pattern. Fractals are infinitely complex patterns that are self-similar across different scales. They are created by repeating a simple process over and over and over in an ongoing feedback loop. Driven by recursion, fractals are images of dynamic systems, the pictures of chaos. Geometrically, they exist in our familiar dimensions. Fractal patterns are extremely familiar since nature is full of fractals, such as trees, rivers, coastlines, mountains, clouds, seashells, hurricanes. Abstract fractals, such as the Mandelbrot set, can be generated by a computer calculating a simple equation over and over. And so this gives you more things you could basically click on and get some more info. But basically, a fractal is basically a pattern that exists, and we see it in nature, whereas it's self-replicating, and it's basically, you could break it down to the fact that the smaller pieces contain the whole, or the essence of the whole. So as we were talking about, as above, so below, this is how it works through nature, and we see that in the chakras. And we see that the chakras are very, very much like hurricanes or tornadoes. We see these same sort of vortices. So it gets you thinking, when you see tornadoes and hurricanes, they're drawing in tremendous amounts of energy, just like chakras do. And so it's the same thing that we're seeing now with the black holes. And you see it in the galaxy itself, which actually spirals as well. So we see these repeating patterns and these spirals. And again, it's something that is obvious when we start to look at it. Is you see all these different shells that have that same sort of pattern. And we see it in Hindu temples here, such as the Virupaksha temple in Hampi. The parts and the whole have the same character. And that's why they are constructed that way. And that's passing on ancient knowledge. So I wanted to share all this with you guys. And as we see it here with the Fibonacci sequence. And the galaxy, everything repeats. It so repeats the golden spiral. And just more examples of that. So another interesting finding that we have going on that's rewriting what we have been taught. And perhaps we should be listening within and listening to some of the mystery traditions, because we don't really know where those things come from. Do they come from the collective consciousness? Are they leftover relics of high civilizations that have been wiped out, such as Atlantis and Lemuria? Are they given to us by ETs or interdimensionals? Any way you look at it, I see these things getting proven daily. And as far as the things that are held in the great mystery traditions, as we go along, we just keep seeing another example shown that we had this knowledge. Perhaps we had this knowledge in our own distant past and we had lost it, but now we're regaining it. So my friends, as always, please do thumbs up, support the channel. Go ahead and subscribe, click the bell to get all the notifications, and share with as many people as possible so we can wake people up to the true nature of the universe, and we can share our thoughts with each other and learn from each other. As always, my friends, God bless and namaste.